Hello everyone, welcome to CodeInbox Automation Lab. This is Shoreful. Today we're going to learn about object-oriented programming concept in Java. This is one of the core concept of Java. It's very important in a real life project. Okay, so you have to know very well about the object-oriented programming concept, or it's called OOPS concept. Okay, let's see. Let's go. So first we'll see what is object-oriented programming concept. So object-oriented programming is a programming concept that works on the principle that objects are the most important part of your program. It allows user to create the object the way you want and then create method to handle those objects. So it makes lots of flexibility for the programmer to create different objects and to handle the way they want through the method. Okay, and here is just several advantages. The key advantages, I would say, the OOPS is faster and easier to execute. Object-oriented programming makes the code easier to maintain, modify, and debug. And lastly, I would say object-oriented programming follows do not repeat yourselves principle, which is about reducing the repeating of your code. It means you create some code for doing some specific job, and if you need to do the same type of job again in your programming, in your code, in your project, so that time rather than writing the same code again and again, you can just reuse those code. That's reduce the code. It's increase your performance, and also it's keep neat and clean your code and easy to understand. So those are the main key advantages of object-oriented programming language. So any language is said to be object-oriented if it is supports some following properties. Here is some following properties. Number 1, encapsulation. Number 2, inheritance. Number 3, polymorphism. Number 4, data abstraction. And the number 5 is interfaces. So in fact, most of the places you will see it's from number 1 to 4 are the main concept or part of the object-oriented programming. But interface is a very similar concept with data abstraction. That's why I added interface also, so that when I will make that a separate video, a tutorial for data abstraction, I can talk about interface, and then you will easily understand the difference between the data abstraction and interface. There is a very significant difference between data abstraction and interface concept. So that's why I added interface also, so that I can show you and explain you the difference. Okay, so first is encapsulation. So before we talk about encapsulation, let's see the definition. Encapsulation in Java is a mechanism of wrapping data or variable in such a way that it cannot be randomly accessed by other code outside of that class. So the wrapping variable and methods works together in a single unit. So in this example, if there is a let's say example in a banking sector, so you have some variable that holds some very important, very secure data, say like your banking account number. Okay, so those are very important data, very secure data that the bank doesn't wanna give a free access from outside of the code from a different classes, so that anybody can get a random access and get the the number or account number. So that's why they need to protect those data in such a way so that it's blocked to randomly access those data. But other hand, for your own access, you may need to retrieve those data, so there is a way that you can retrieve those data other way. You can get access those data other way, but not direct access. And that time, they use encapsulation concept if the program is based on object-oriented language. So if we want to include an encapsulation in our code, then we have to follow some pattern, some standard steps. What's those? Here is it. Declare instance or global variable as a private in that class. So so example, as I said, if you want to wrap or hide your some variables, say I said some variables which is in banking sector, hold the account number, those are like global variable, but to hide it, we have to declare those variable as a private variable so that nobody can get a direct access. Then but we need to keep an option so that we can get an access those data not directly, indirectly, for our own needs. So how we can do this? To do this, they create some method called setter and getter method. Those are public method, that work as a unit with those global variables to view the wrapping variables values from outside of that class or from different class. So what is setter and getter method? Setter and getter method means set or update the value, which in setter method which doesn't have return value, because this set method will help you just to set or initialize the data or those variables. So there will be no return type of set method. Similarly, get method is used to retrieve the data, so it will have the return value or return type, because this get method will help to retrieve the data. So whenever we need from outside of the class, okay, so this method will help. So this method should have some return value. If it's not, then how we are going to get or return some data? So that's why it will have some return type. This method will have a return type. So let's get back to our Eclipse and see some actual example how it works. So in my Eclipse, I have a project that I create, Java Oops, and I have two classes here, encap test and run encap. So this is the encap and this is a run encap. So I created just two classes. So the first is encap test. It does not have the main method, so I create this class without a main method. Okay, so let's see that what can you do. So let's say example, as I said first, if we want to establish or write the code for encapsulation concept, we need some global variable which will be in protected. It will declare the protected. So let's create a couple of global variable, like say string and then say name. Okay, and let's put this in private mode, private variable. And then let's put another one, private variable, that's, and return type is integer, say maybe age. Okay, so I have two global variable, both are in private. I declare in private. Okay, and let's create, so these two variable, as I said, well, those your global variable will have to be in private. So this is private. Then we'll have a setter and getter method. Set method will set the value to this variable, and get method will help to retrieve the data for this variable. So we have to create two methods, for each and every variable. So let's create public void. So set, say example for age. Okay, set age. For the age, I'm creating a method for the age first. Set age, and then I'm passing a parameter, so integer type parameter, the variable new age. Okay, And here in this method, the age variable, the global age variable, I'm assigning this global age variable with the parameter variable I have in this method. Okay, so now my age is assigned to the new age, which is the variable that's a part of my parameter for this method. So age is indirectly, you can say, it's already assigned by new age. We don't know what's the new age. We'll see the later on when we'll call this method, we'll pass the real age as an argument. Okay, and then that value will replace with the age variable, and so then your age, this age variable will get actual some number. That's the way we'll assign, and then we'll use the get method to retrieve this age variable. Okay, now let's create another method. It's called this is a set method. We'll use another method. It's for the get method. So similarly here, public void, and we'll see, sorry, it's not the set, we'll get the get method. Set method and then get age. Okay, get age. So this, okay, and then there will be, the parameter will be empty, and then here we'll return age. So same, this age variable I'm returning here, okay, by this get age. So this method, all it's going to be return the age variable. So what would be the age variable? So age variable is assigning new age. When new age will get the actual value, so age will have the actual value, and this method will return that actual value for the age. You can see there is an error here, because you can say the change method return type to integer, because by this method I'm returning age. Age is going to be like integer, but I'm saying my method return type is void, so that's why it's give me error. So let's return, adjust the return type, which is a integer. So now it's gone, the error is gone. Okay, similarly I will create a method, set method, get method for name variable. Okay, so let's create example here. So let's public, and then we'll say void set name, and then pass a parameter. The type would be string, since it's a name, so definitely type would be string. New name, this is a variable, and then assign this new name to name variable. So new name, I'm going to assign the name variable, which is our global variable, equals to the name variable. Okay, that's new one. So again, same way I will create another method. It's called get method. So let's copy from here, put it here, change it. You say get name, just change it and return the name variable here. Perfect. Okay, return, it's have to be, yeah, this name is a string. We know it's a name variable, it's string, name is a string, so we have to change the return type over here from integer to string. Right, now you can see all gone. Okay, save it. Okay, so now my encap test class, I have two private global variable, name and age, and for every variable I have two methods, which is set method and get method. One method will assign the variable, that's why I pass as a create a parameter, pass a parameter, and then other one will retrieve the actual value when we'll call this method and pass the real data as an argument. So let's go to my runcap class. So from here I will call this method, both method I will call, and I will pass the actual parameter, and then I will do some printing. So I create another method, as I said, it's called run encap. It has a main method, because from this method I will call from this class I will call those method and pass the actual variable, and I will print this stuff. So this is my main that's why we need a main method here. Okay, inside a main method. So first, if I want to call any method like set method and get method from this class, this is a class is public, so I can call. But to call any method from here, to get access any properties from here, which is a public, those methods are public, I have to create first an object of that class. So what's a class now? Encap. So let's create an object first. To create an object, type new keyword and the class name, right? And then put in a variable. Say, give a variable name, example. What's a class? It's encap. Okay, this is the variable name. It's I match with the class name, and the return type would be same class name. Okay, so now this encap, this object reference variable, have the knowledge about this class encap test. It means it has the knowledge all the public methods of encap. So encap variable have the knowledge all the methods it has, as long as those are public, so I can access all of them. So let's you can see how we can access. All you have to just put the variable object reference dot, then you can see all the method, right? Get age, then get name, you can see get age, get name, all those are the method that we created up there, right, in this encap test. So let's call one by one. So first we'll call the, say, for the name or age, or say let's go the name, get name. You call the get name method here, get name. Where is the get name? Get name, and get name is returning the name, right? Sorry, I have to call the set name first. I have to set it first. Dot set name. Okay, so set name, it's expecting a real. So here is, I have to set name. So I have to first call the set name so that I can pass the actual value for the name here. Set name actual value here. So I have a parameter which is new name. So this is just variable, right? When you call the method, you have to pass the actual value instead of this parameter variable. So I have a variable new name. So instead of that, I'm going to pass, say, example like James. Okay, James. So I pass this, and then similarly I can call this set edge, so that I can set the data for the edge variable. Set edge, it has a new edge, over here you can see set edge, it has a new edge parameter. So it's expecting a argument over here when you call the method. So let's pass over here, say 25. Okay, so now these two methods, it's calling up there, and will replace those parameters. This new age, also new name, will replace with the actual argument, which is James and 25. So now age has the value is 25, and name has the value is James. So if I call now it's get age, it will return the age, which is 25, and if I call this method get name, it will return the name, which is James, right? Let's call those methods, get method. All right, so let's print and call them, in a printing this out. Here I'm going to say, for example, name is, and then put a concatenation, and then call the method encap dot, first is name. So let's call the get name method, and then concatenation, you use a concatenation, then let's put a space. Okay, to put a space, we can use the empty string that will have some space, then do the concatenation again. Then let's pass a message. It's called age is, and then do the concatenation, and then I can call the get age method, right? Get it? Pretty much. And then here, so it will print name is, then it will get the value. It will call the get name method from here, it will return the name. So return the name is already updated from this method, set method. So name is actually now is James, so it will say name is James, and there will be space. That's why I put empty space, and then it will print age is, it will call the get age method. Get age method is nothing, is 25, because I already set the 25 value to the through the set age method. Okay, let's save it and then print it. Here you go. You can say the name is James and age is 25. So what we really did here, that's the whole concept is called encapsulation, because I had two global variable, both are private, like name and age. But so which it means I can't call those name and age variable outside of the class. It means from another class, but from another class I still access those variables using set and get method. So set and get method, it's not only help me to call those variable, but also it's help me to update the value or assign value to those variables. So it makes my code very smooth. So anytime if I need to change the people's name and age, I can just come over here and change over here, instead of James, like whatever it is, like Shurful, and pass the change the age to 30. Just two places you will change, it will automatically update over here and will change the values, and we'll able to get the access or retrieve the data from those private variable. Okay, that's the mechanism, magic of the encapsulation concept through Java. Okay, this is very helpful concept in our real life project when you will do it. So what do we have learned? That there's some advantages. Advantages is it is useful in hiding the data for global variable of a class, and also it's prevent illegal direct access those data, right? And then it is also help us to make a flexible code. The code is much more flexible. As I said, we can just change over here, it will change up there too. So it makes flexible code which is easy to change here, and also maintains. Okay, it's not too much code to change, update, or maintains. Okay, those are the the key point or advantages of encapsulation concept under the object-oriented programming language for Java. Okay, so that's all for now, and I will see you in the next tutorial about the component of object-oriented, which is inheritance. Stay tuned and watch the next video. Thank you so much.